Isru Chag is really the deepest day of the year, especially the Isru Chag that occurs after Shemini Atzeret, because this is the Isru Chag that retains the seed that was given by Yisrael to Rachel. And let me explain a little bit about the Isru Chag in its language. Isru means to kind of bind, and Chag means circle. We're binding the circle. Whatever was open in the circle is now bound. How can one do this? If you've ever seen them draw the circle in Zen, it's always with a slightly open space between the head and the tail. Other forms, if you've seen the Ouroboros, you see the open form with the tail and the mouth. There's always a gap. Isn't there always a gap in life? How do you close this circle? How do you bind this circle? How do you bind the holy into the profane? This is Isru Chag itself. It's the binding of the circle to make one. Binding of the existential gap. For me, what binds that existential gap is a fetish object. It is the foundation stone. It is actually the left hand. It binds with the right to produce the one hand. The heavens are made with the right hand, the foundations of the earth with the left. This comes together and makes the third Yad Ramah. There are 3 days it takes for this digestion of the seed. These 3 days correspond, not from my knowledge, but deeper knowledge from the 3 sons of Noah and the 3 colors of the rainbow and the concept of the 3 meals of Shabbos from the 3 heads of Radlah. The revealed heads, the heads that are not covered. This is where the seed of Mashiach comes from. The law of 3 that is revealed in the letter Aleph, with the Yud on top, the Yud on bottom, and those are the 2 hands, and the Vav in the middle. This one as 3 as the foundation stone itself. The Aleph, everything is based on the Aleph. The Aleph is the foundation stone that binds everything together. And this Isru and Isra, Chag, the Aleph, which is the first letter in Isru, and Gimel, 3, as the last letter in Chag. And we're talking about the seed. how we bring like an extending of the Shabbos. We extend Shabbos into the profane days, and we extend here Shemini Atzeret not only into the next day, meaning Isru Chag here, which we happen to be in right now, but for the next 6 months, because the third day of this Isru Chag, the first day is the seed itself, which in this case is actually closed. Then the second day we have a simcha. And then there's no third day. The third day is not appropriate for simcha. It's 6 months now until the 7th day of Pesach and the splitting of the Red Sea, the Yam Suf, when the child is born. And yet there's still connection with that splitting of the Red Sea, and there's still connection through the umbilicus, which is very much like this circle and the ultimate connection. And here we are in this umbilicus, and for 6 months we're in the womb, and this all is the third day of Shemini Atzeret, when we receive the seed at Musaf, and when we say the blessing to receive the Ruach and to bring down the Geshem. And this is that time that we're extending Shemini Atzeret till Pesach. And that's the kind of energy we're in. The seed itself, this closing, this Isru Chag, the closing part is the foundation stone. That's man's fetish and fetish object. This closing spot is the foundation stone, the Eben Shatia, the foundation stone. There's a lot of gematria that corresponds to this. And what is this foundation stone? It's the Nazia, which is the same gematria as Isru. And what does the Nazia do? He Isru. He forbids himself. And it's a personal choice. It's an individual choice. And that's what's shown in Shemini Atzeret, where the 70 nations are in Sukkot, but only Yisrael is in Shemini Atzeret. The individual coming out with the protection of the sukkah surrounding him for 6 months. The surrounding light. This surrounding light is Isru Chag. Bound the circle. And what binds this circle but the individual's choice? The individual must bind the circle. Otherwise, there's always a gap. And that gap is the entrance into the Sitra Akra, which in letters is evident in Isru, Aleph Samach. And the Aleph Samach and Hipuch is Samach Aleph, Sitra Akra. And the only way to bind that circle is with the foundation stone that enters into the underground springs where this water that is blessed on Sukkah and judged on Sukkah is to be found. And this is the day to recognize one's foundation stone, one's fetish and fetish object, the thing that brings pleasure, that brings desire, and actually brings emunah. Desire is the first of these three heads. Pleasure, tanug, is the second of the three heads, and the third head, the head that is not known and will never be known, is emunah. And that's the seal, the third seal. And we have from here until Hanukkah to recognize this third seal. The Hotam, third Hotam. That can be only recognized in the Tahum, the depths. And this is the fetish and the fetish object. And as you know, this is my blessing for the year 776. The Eben Shatia. This foundation stone is what binds the circle.